Thank you for making time for NTV at 1. My name is Gladys. Gachanja. Now, leading telcos firm Safaricom is holding its 2019 annual general meeting at the Bomas of Kenya. This is after having declared an increased 1 shilling and 25 cents dividend payout to shareholders in addition to special dividend payout. Standing at the AGM is Victor Kiprop, and he's following up on those proceedings. Let's listen in.
And in those early days to be financially successful, because it was a service offering from Safaricom to its customers to make their lives better. So that was and that was what we intended. That was the objective, to change people's lives for the better, which has been the ethos of this company all along. It become successful both financially, but now when you go into another country and you're not the owner of the mobile phone company, you rely on another mobile phone company for voice, for connectivity, SMS, USSD, whatever it may be, then you need to have a different viewpoint about M-Pesa. Then you need to look at it financially and not changing people's lives for the better, because you're in another country, you're not the mobile operator. So there are very limited markets where we can go to. It's not Africa, every country in Africa. Most big operators already have their own mobile money service already. But there are some greenfield operations where we are looking at, and Ethiopia is well known that we are looking into Ethiopia. But it's not a multitude of countries where we're going to take M-Pesa to. M-Pesa type services where we could offer some support, yes. But the main thing is, if we want to take M-Pesa somewhere, it must be successful. So you can say, as an example, Nigeria. Nigeria has no mobile money services as such. There are individuals, but it's not done by the mobile phone company. It's a great market, but could we just go to Nigeria, be successful? We have to look at it carefully. That's all I'm saying.
Michael Joseph, the interim CEO of Safaricom, and he was appointed following the death of Bob Collymore in July. They're speaking at its 2019 annual general meeting at the Bomas of Kenya. As I had alluded to earlier, Victor Kiprop will be giving us more details on the same in our subsequent bulletins. Now, the Kenya Revenue Authority has confiscated illicit and contraband goods worth about 1.5 billion shillings, which will be destroyed over the next 2 days. The authorities say that it has nabbed goods such as beer, wine, spirits, and even manufacturing equipment, which it says is substandard and toxic. Lilian Kere is in Stoniadi and now joins us with an update. Lilian, what else can you tell us?
Gladys, as it is Friday, which is the end of the month, it's actually a lethal combination, noting that most Kenyans, this is the day they go visit various entertainment joints and partake in taking various alcoholic drinks. But before you take this drink, do you know what you're actually consuming? For the last 1 year, the KRA has been able to impound various businesses which are dealing with illicit goods and have collected these goods and brought them to a secret site where they were destroying these drinks today, and even cigars and cigarettes. And we are joined by Anne Irongo, who is the Assistant Director General in charge of enforcement, who's going to just be telling us what was happening here today and how have they been able to train the public to know if the goods they are dealing with are illegal.
Thank you very much. Today is an exercise we've had as KRA and multi-agency. We've been in the field for the last 1 year, trying to collect the illicit products in the market. And what we are doing today is to destroy and make sure that the products are destroyed to the last one. So that is the commitment of KRA and multi-agency, that we are going to support the public in the fight of the products which have not been paid for tax, and we are able to identify them and remove them from the market and destroy them in a professional facility like the one we have here.
So maybe you can tell us what are you doing to ensure that the public knows if they are dealing with illicit goods or actually counterfeit goods?
At KRA today, we are using automation. We are able to identify the fake products because we have an automated stamp which we are able to use to identify the fake products. We are training the public on how to identify the fake stamps in the market which are affixed on the fake products. We have a strategy of educating the traders across the whole country. We have devolved together with the multi-agency teams, and we are available to the public across the country.
Gladys, you can note that today this was not a raid, and actually it was goods collected from various parts of the country were brought to this secret location and they were crushed. The goods are worth about 1.5 billion shillings, and we will be following up on this and update you in the subsequent bulletin. Back to you.
Thank you, Lillian Carey, speaking to us from Stony Athi, where KRA officials have confiscated illicit and contraband goods worth about 1.5 billion shillings, which are being destroyed in the next 2 days. Well, in other top day stories, and the body of a woman buried by the wrong family a week ago has been exhumed in Bungoma County. The body of Mary Nasimiyu was mistakenly picked up by another family that was also bereaved and later buried at Ndakaru in Bungoma West Sub-County. When the family went to collect the body from Dreamland Hospital on Monday, they found it missing. After thorough investigations, they found that the body had been picked and taken to Lugulu Hospital mortuary by another family and then to Ndakaru in Bungoma West for burial. The family, however, obtained a court order to have Nasimiyu's body exhumed in order to bury her at her matrimonial home. Mary Nasimiyu was reburied yesterday in Nakalira village in Kimilili.
Tulijaribu kutumia serikali na watu ya Dreamland, wakatusaidia, tukaenda tukafufua hiyo mwili. Sasa saa hii tuko nyumbani tunafanya mashishi. Na vile tulimfufua kwa hiyo kaburi, watu ya huko pia walifufua wakamaliza na wakaweka mkomba ya ndizi.
Hatutaingia katika ile kimila. Kimila imepitwa na wakati. Tumeshika vile mama wetu alikuwa ametulea. Sasa tunamsika mama kiheshima, kikristo.
To county matters, and Amani National Congress Party leader Musalia Mudavadi has asked the national government to release funds to counties in time to avoid a possible shutdown of services. Mudavadi, who spoke in the wake of a standoff between the Senate and the National Assembly over the division of revenue bills, says that denying counties funds was akin to killing devolution. The ANC leader, who was in Makueni, further poked holes at some of the proposed changes in the constitution, saying such a move should only be done to strengthen the current system of government. His host, Makueni Governor Kibutha Kibwana, said devolution is Kenya's lifeline, warning that if it is resisted, it will die. Kibwana said division of revenue formula stalemate was dangerous path that can derail projects that are valuable. Mudavadi was accompanied by Lugari MP Ayub Savula, Butere MP Tindi Mwale, Nambale MP John Sakwa Bunyasi, and ANC chairperson.
With our own initiative, with our MCAs, and with also members of the Senate, so that there is also that on the table. Because the idea is to protect devolution through all means possible.
Hata wakati watu wanazungumza mambo ya kubadilisha katiba ama vipengele kadhaa kwa katiba hapa na pale, we can only ask for one thing kwa mambo ya devolution. Do not deduct, only enhance. Matters devolution.
And more on the proposed referendum, Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa has called on Kenyans to critically analyze and discuss the issues being addressed in the clamor for some change in the Constitution. The clamor for change in the Punguza Mizigo and the much-awaited report from the Building Bridges Initiative have raised concerns from various quarters. Wamalwa also warns that constitutional amendments should not be based on personality, but the issues that affect people. He says it's unfortunate that some politicians are already taking sides to personalize the Constitution according to political alignments even before the BBI report is out.
Sababu ukisoma gazeti unasikia sisi tumengoja tuone tutasimama upande wa Ruto ama tutasimama upande wa Raila. Katiba hii hatuelezei mheshimiwa Raila ama mheshimiwa Ruto. It's for posterity. It's for the good of all Kenyans. Na mimi kama waziri wa ugatuzi ningependa nihimiza sana ya kwamba let us make devolution the centerpiece ya hii marekebisho ya katiba yajayo. Sababu if devolution wins, we all win. whether you live in Kilifi County or Kisii County or Kitui County. When we strengthen devolution, kuleta maendeleo kwa county hii na county zote 47 za Kenya, tutakuwa sote washindi kama wa Kenya.
Away from that, strong winds have blown off the roofs of Unkuta Primary School in Kilgore's constituency, Narok County, leaving the school administrators worried over where the pupils will go when schools open next week for the third term. Janet Namwayu with that story.
Last Friday, a storm blew away roofs of 5 classrooms and the administration block after heavy rains in Kilgoris. A number of the iron sheets now lie some 100 meters in a thicket away from the school.
Wakati huu hatuna madarasa matano na ofisi.
No one was hurt in the incident since the pupils and teachers were away for the August holiday. However, solar panels and books were damaged.
Jengo hili lilijengwa vibaya. This is a substandard classes. Haijajengwa vizuri. Foundation pia, kaangalia hiyo picha, foundation yake ni mbaya.
Some incidences is not new in the area. Parents are now being urged to plant trees in the school.
Shule hii kwa ujumla, tangu kuanzishwa kwa ujenzi wake, haujaanzishwa na msingi dhabiti. Na hii ndiyo sababu unaona kwamba shule inaweza bebwa na upepo kwa urahisi.
Ntuka Primary School has 358 pupils with 41 of them set to sit for this year's Kenya Certificate of Primary Education. Janet Nyamamu, NTV.
In Kilifi, Governor Amason Kingi has raised fears that a huge number of residents will be left out in the big count if the enumeration exercise ends tomorrow. Kingi wants more time added to give room for all Kilifi residents to participate, while also urging the Kenya Bureau of Statistics to sort out allowances for some enumerators who have been protesting over the delay of dues within the county.
Wale maofisa ambao walipatiwa jukumu hili la kuingia majumba ya wanakilifi ili kuhesabu walianza kazi hii kuchelewa. Mwanzo kulikuwa na mgogoro kwa wale maofisa ambao walipatiwa kazi hii kwa sababu ya marupurupu yao, allowances zao. Kwa hivyo siku ya kwanza haikuanza ile siku ambayo inatakikana kuanza. Siku ya pili wakawa na mgomo kabisa. Zoezi la kuhesabu wananchi Kilifi ikazoroteka. Kwa hivyo tukiambiwa kwamba tarehe 31 ni kwamba haiwezi kusukumwa hata na dakika moja, inamaanisha kwamba watu wengi hapa Kilifi hawatahesabiwa, ambao ni hatari kubwa.
Still on that ongoing census, just a day to the end of the 2019 population census, and some Kenyans are still vowing not to participate. Residents of Kalanzoni location along the Machakos-Makueni border are among those boycotting the exercise. The angry residents say they are unhappy about their area being listed as an enumeration area in Machakos County and not Makueni, which is where they consider themselves to be. The residents are worried as they may not benefit from the resources allocated to Machakos, as the border disputes have existed for a long time. They have therefore resolved not to take part in the enumeration process until the authorities deal with the border disputes. Residents of Juja Farm Village in Juja constituency, Kiambu County, are living in fear after an armed gang brought terror upon the village twice this week, destroying homes and taking away property. The gang of young men riding motorcycles stormed 5 houses where they took money, television sets, phones and cooking gases from locals. The gang is also accused of sexually assaulting a woman and 4 girls in one of the households on one of the nights, leaving the residents in fear and panic. Residents say that the group that operates only after dark accesses the homes after vandalizing the doors and cutting the grills. All in the home are instructed to lie down while they undertake their mission, and the residents are calling on the Ministry of Interior to beef up security in the area, while also asking for officers from the nearest police station to be reshuffled, as they claim they are not doing their duty as required.
Tuna security hata kidogo, na watu wanavamiwa kila wakati, na kila wakati ukivamiwa unaambiwa unaitizwa zile pesa uko nazo, na kama Kama hauna wanakwambia ufurize.
Chief Justice David Maraga has said that the judiciary will build law courts in all the 90 constituencies in order to make it easier for people to access judicial services. Speaking in Ruiru during the official opening of a new court, Maraga said the move will go a long way in reducing the number of cases already pending in courts. He also added that the Ruiru court is special because it has been built through the efforts of locals led by their MP. This is the second court in the country to be built through the National Government Constituency Development Fund after Msambweni.
Tunataka hiyo title deed na muone mtupatie nafasi ya kutosha. Kama mnataka sisi tulete high court hapa, na unajua tuko na ile koti ya mashamba, tuko na koti ile ya labor, tuko na hii koti ya high court. Hizo zote kama mnataka sikuche hapa ili msiende Nairobi, msiende Thika na zile magistrates court, tunataka plot ya kutosha ndio tufanye mpango na tukuje kujenga.
The residents of Mbeere South are going to be the main beneficiaries of an agreement between the county government of Embu and Kengen to start a water company. The project is expected to cost more than 120 million shillings. There have been a lot of cases of people losing their lives after being attacked by crocodiles and hippos while fetching water in the nearby rivers. The Deputy Governor of Embu has urged the contractor to employ local residents to facilitate the project, and water-related problems are common in this area, and that prompted the county government to seek a solution to end the crisis. Education Matters enlisted publisher Longhorn now says reduced spending by the government on textbooks has seen it take a hit in its performance. In the 12 months ending June 2019, the company's revenue stood at 1.6 billion shillings, a 5.7% decline from the same period a year earlier. The company has attributed this decline in revenue to reduction in government spending on textbooks. As a result, the company saw its net earnings for the year ending June 2019 remain relatively flat at 185 million shillings. In June 2019, the Ministry of Education indicated it faced a 10.5 billion shillings shortage in rolling out the new competence-based curriculum. Still on business matters, listed mortgage finance lender Housing Finance has slumped into a loss position in the 6 months ending June 2019. In the period under review, the mortgage lender reported a loss of 97 million shillings compared to a profit of 6.8 million shillings in the same period in 2018. This comes barely a month after the lender put on auction properties worth 2 billion shillings, pointed to the headwinds it is facing in the growing pile of a bad debt. Housing Finance shareholders are counting losses as the company's share price has fallen by 30% to 3 shillings and 87 cents since the year started. Banking group I&M Holdings has more than doubled its net profits for the half-year ended June 2019 to 4.7 billion shillings from the 2.3 billion shillings recorded over the same period last year. Net interest income grew marginally from 6.7 billion shillings to 7 billion shillings, with the bank recording a 14% growth in customer deposits and loans and advances for the period. Now, the Nairobi Securities Exchange listed firms' total assets at the end of the period stood at 317 billion shillings, up from 283 billion shillings at the close of the same period last year. Kwale Industries, the manufacturer of soko maize flour, has gone into beverage production with the launch of a cereal milk drink named Yola. This comes a month after Coca-Cola launched a new range of beverages in its bid to become a total beverage company, signaling imminent increased competition in the soft drinks market segment. Kwale says Yola's entry into the market is in line with the company's strategy to expand product range and will be manufactured at the company's 250 million shilling plant.
Round of applause. Thank you. 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 Because you don't need it. Is it affecting?
Our desire as a company to meet Kenyans at the point of convenience and health with a unique product. Secondly, our innovative nature that drives us to consistently breach existing norms and challenge ourselves to venture into uncharted territories. And thirdly, our support for the government's manufacturing pillar as the Big Four agenda and also driving towards job creation in this country.
African e-logistics startup Kobo 360 has begun operations in Nairobi, marking the company's first physical expansion into East Africa. The firm has been in beta operation in Kenya for 5 months, and the new Nairobi office comes as the company looks to foster seamless intra-African trade by connecting and supporting cargo owners, truck owners, and drivers.
Continental Free Trade Agreement that I alluded to during the presentation. And the reason is that, and so as Kobo, we're quite excited about it and are strong supporters of the agreement.
So we are reliable. I think if you're in the logistics sector, that is something that we consider very important. We're reliable, we are efficient and cost effective. And the other thing is that we understand the market. We innovate to meet the market needs. And the fact that we can scale as businesses scale, our capacity to actually load thousands of trucks makes us stand.
Security matters now, and police in Kwale have shot dead a man suspected to have been engaging in terror activities within the coast region. The man was killed after a shootout with officers at a village in Ngombeni, that is Matuga sub-county. The suspect, identified as Mohammed Rashid Matsumiro alias Msani, was killed in his house during the police raid. Police Corporal Jeremiah Muller was shot in the stomach and rushed to Diani Hospital for treatment. Kwale County Police Commander Tom Odero said a pistol was recovered from the suspect's house.
Zaidi sana sijui, lakini kitu najua kwamba yule kijana ni mtu ambaye anafanya ibada zake hapa mtaani, na kama siku nne ya mwisho nilimuona, nikasalimiana naye, nikaachana naye, lakini leo nilipopatezwa habari nikawa na mshangao.
Mwenye nyumba yao wote wanaishi kijamaa. Wote ni relatives. Huyu kijana sisi tumjua hapa kama mtu wa kuswali misikiti, mtu ambaye shughuli zake hatuzielewi, yani kwa sasa yeye ni mtu mwenye anatoka shughuli zake akirudi tu kwake. Sasa sisi tulipoona hilo tukio leo ndio tumejiuliza, sasa tuko kwa kiza, sasa tuelewe kitu gani kinaendelea. Alikuwa na familia? Alikuwa na bibi, lakini kufikia jana alikuwa hayuko. Alikuwa na bibi yake, lakini jana hakulala hapa kiufupi.
Across the borders now, a trio of newborn Bengali tiger cubs have been revealed at a zoo in the Peruvian capital of Lima. The cubs, which include a rare white one belonging to the endangered species, were born a little over a month ago in captivity. While the white cub has been named Lima in honor of her birthplace, the zoo launched a campaign to name the two other cubs who are being cared for by their mother. White tigers have poor immune systems compared to other species, and so it is necessary necessary to find nutritional, sanitary and behavioral balance in order for them to reproduce in captivity. The tigers are on the verge of extinction, with the World Wildlife Fund listing their population at less than 2,000. At least 7 people were killed during a football match in South Morocco when a river burst its banks and flooded a village football pitch, according to the local authorities. Among the victims was a 17-year-old boy and 6 elderly men attending the match in the village of Tizat in the region. According to officials, 1 man was rescued while another is still missing. It is reported that the river overflowed and submerged the pitch when an amateur football tournament was taking place. 8 men taking refuge in their changing rooms were swept away by the flood waters. A 9-year-old girl in Uganda has tested positive for the Ebola disease after traveling from the DRC. The child, who is of Congolese origin, was diagnosed after exhibiting symptoms at a border crossing in the southwestern Kasese district on Wednesday. She was subsequently isolated and transferred to an Ebola treatment unit. And earlier this month, Uganda said it had started a trial of an experimental Ebola vaccine that may be used in neighboring DRC, where an outbreak of the disease has killed more than 1,900 people. Uganda had been declared Ebola-free, but in June, 3 people from one family died there from the fever after crossing back from DRC. Well, Brian Otwal is in studio with the latest from the sporting world. Brian?
Thank you so much, Gladys. Let's have a look at the latest in sports. And the 2019-2020 Kenyan Premier League season kicks off this afternoon with 2 matches on the cards, despite growing concerns of proper match venues and financial support. Sofapaka will host Posta Rangers at the Narok Stadium as Kariobangi Sharks takes on Western Stima in the other tie at the Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos. Lack of enough stadia has been a big challenge for the last 2 seasons, following the closure of Nyayo Stadium and City Stadium for renovation, a fact that may put more pressure to Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos and soon to be closed Moi Stadium in Kisumu, as well as the Kasarani Stadium. Title sponsor SportPesa exited the scene, leaving the league managers with nothing in the way of revenue, a situation which could hamper the league's progress. Gor Mahia, the reigning champions, will attempt an unprecedented 19th league title and 4th in a row, with their first match against Tusker this Saturday at the Moi Stadium in Kisumu. Team coach David Ouma is optimistic his side will overturn a 3-2 loss to Malawi in the return tie of the 2020 Olympics qualifier to be played at the Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos. A spirited second-half show saw Harambee Starlets run away with 2 away goals, which they will now bank on ahead of the second leg set to be played on Sunday. Starlets, who arrived back home last night, headed straight to camp in Machakos upon arrival in Nairobi, and is set to hold a light training session on Saturday morning ahead of Sunday's match, which is set to be played behind closed doors, courtesy of an order from CAF. Should Starlets pass the Malawi test, they will have either of Ghana or Gabon in the 3rd round of the qualifiers.
The situation is to build the confidence and character to win it in Machakos, because all the possibilities are within us. We get it 1-0, we get it 2-1, the possibilities the variations are high. The only thing that we need to hold tight is not to concede, and this is the mental attitude that we bring in this game in Machakos. We have realized their strength. They would like to play through the center. We have a remedy for it. We have done the evaluation because it's back-to-back, and the players are now psyched up to minimize the threats that they have. But in general, I think we have a very strong team to overcome this second leg.
And Harambee Stars under-20 coach Stanley Okumbi has named a 43-man provisional squad for the Sekafa under-20 championship that is set to be held in Uganda from September 14th to 28th. Highly rated midfielder Richard Odada, who is in the books of European side Red Star Belgrade, is the only foreign-based player in the squad, while Colin Sishenje, who only joined Kenyan Premier League side AFC Leopards recently from Green Commandos, has been drafted in too. The team enters camp on Tuesday ahead of the two-week tournament. All the 12-member countries, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Burundi, Eritrea, Djibouti, Sudan, Ethiopia, Rwanda, Somalia, Zanzibar, and South Sudan have confirmed their participation to the tournament to be held in Gulu, northern Uganda. And holders Liverpool will face Napoli, Salzburg and Genk in the Champions League group stage this season in the draws done last evening. Premier League champions Manchester City were drawn alongside Shakhtar Donetsk, Dynamo Zagreb and Atalanta. Last year's runners-up Tottenham are in Group A with five-time European